Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Every Day, the podcast. I'm your host, Mary.
And I'm Luke. It's great to be with you all again.
Today, we are diving into a topic that can be a little nerve-wracking for anyone, but especially when you're navigating it in a new language. We're talking about going to the doctor.
That's right. Understanding medical terms and clearly explaining your symptoms is so important for your health. Our goal today is to give you the vocabulary and phrases you need to feel confident and in control during a doctor's visit.
Exactly. So we've broken it down into 3 stages: before, during, and after the appointment. Let's start with part 1, before the appointment. This is all about preparation and logistics.
Okay, so the very first step is making the phone call. You'll likely be speaking to a receptionist. The most important phrase you'll need is, "I'd like to make an appointment." Or you can also say, "I'd like to schedule an appointment."
Make or schedule, both are perfect. The receptionist might ask if you're a new patient. If it's your first time, you say yes. Then, if you want to see a particular doctor, you can ask, for example, "Is Dr. Evans available on Tuesday?"
Right. Available is the key word there. It just means, does the doctor have free time? The receptionist will then check the doctor's schedule.
They will also ask you about the reason for your visit. You can be general or specific. If it's just a routine visit, you can say, "I need a checkup."
But if you have a problem, you'd say, "I have a specific concern." This tells the receptionist that you are sick or hurt and not just coming in for a wellness visit.
Yes, and at this point, they'll also ask you about some practical things. They'll need your insurance information. That's the company that helps pay for your medical care. They might also mention a copay.
The copay. That's the fixed amount you pay for a medical service with your insurance covering the rest. It's good to ask, how much is the copay, so you know what to expect.
Good tip. Okay, so once the appointment is scheduled, the next step is being able to describe your problem at least briefly to the receptionist. This helps them understand how urgent your situation is. Being specific is key.
It really is. Instead of just saying, "I have a headache," you could say, "I have a throbbing headache." Or for other pains, you could describe it as a sharp pain, like a knife, or a dull ache, which is a more constant, low-level pain.
Those are great descriptive words: throbbing, sharp, or dull. You also want to talk about timing. Is the pain constant, meaning it never stops? Or does it come and goes, meaning you feel it sometimes but not others?
And location is crucial. Don't just point. Use your words. Say, "The pain is in my lower back," or "It's on my right side." The more specific, the better.
Totally. And finally, for this initial call, you should mention duration and severity. How long has this been happening? It started 3 days ago. And how bad is it? The pain is mild for not so bad, moderate for in the middle, or severe for very, very bad.
Exactly. So a great summary for the receptionist could be, "Hi, I'd like to make an appointment. I have a sharp pain in my lower back. It started 3 days ago, it comes and goes, and the pain is moderate."
That is a perfect summary. Clear, concise, and it gives them all the information they need. That brings us to part 2, during the appointment. You're in the doctor's office and you're about to have the consultation.
Right. A nurse might take your temperature and blood pressure first, but when the doctor comes in, they will almost always start with a simple question: "What brings you in today?" Or, "So what seems to be the problem?"
And this is your chance to explain what's wrong. The doctor will also likely ask, "How long have you had these symptoms?" A symptom is any feeling of illness or physical change caused by a disease.
Yep, so you need to be ready to answer. For example, you could say, "For the past week, I've been feeling nauseous and dizzy." Nauseous means feeling like you might vomit, and dizzy is when you feel like the room is spinning.
Or if you have a cold, you could say, "I have a cough and congestion." Congestion is when your nose is blocked or stuffy.
Now is the time to add even more detail. If you think you have a fever, you can describe the feeling. You could say, "I feel chills and hot flashes." Chills are when you feel very cold and shiver, even if it's not cold. Hot flashes are sudden feelings of intense warmth.
Right. What about stomach problems? Those are very common.
Good question. For For digestive issues, you might say, I have heartburn, which is that burning feeling in your chest, or I have bloating, which is when your stomach feels full and tight, usually from gas.
Those are very specific and useful, and sometimes you just feel generally unwell. Two great phrases for this are, I feel fatigued, which means extremely tired with no energy, or I feel run down, which is a more general way to say you feel weak and unwell.
Run down is a great one. It covers everything. Now, a very important part of the consultation is that it's a two-way conversation. You shouldn't be afraid to ask your own questions. This is about your health.
And it's not just about physical symptoms. It's also important to talk about how you're feeling emotionally or mentally. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health.
That's such a vital point, Mary. Your doctor is there for your whole well-being. It's perfectly okay to say, I've been feeling very anxious lately, or I think I might be dealing with depression. Using these words directly can be very helpful.
Exactly. You could also say things like, I've lost interest in things I usually enjoy, or I'm having trouble sleeping. These are important clues for your doctor. It's about giving them the full picture of your well-being.
Absolutely. Empowerment is key. After the doctor examines you, it's a great time to ask, what could be causing this? This opens up the conversation about possible diagnoses.
Yeah, that's a crucial question. Another good one, especially if you have something like a cold or flu, is it contagious? Meaning, can I pass it to other people?
Very important for your family and colleagues. And if the doctor suggests a medicine, you should always feel comfortable asking, are there any side effects to this medication? A side effect is an unwanted effect that the medicine might have on your body.
That's your right as a patient. Never feel shy about asking for more information. Okay, that covers the consultation pretty well. Now we're at the final stage, part 3, after the appointment. This is all about understanding the instructions and your next steps.
Right, so the doctor has finished the examination and has an idea of what's wrong. First, they will give you a diagnosis. This is the identification of the illness. They will usually use simple terms.
They try to. For example, they might say, it looks like it's a viral infection, which is a common illness like a cold. Or for an injury, they might say, you've pulled a muscle. If you don't understand the diagnosis, just ask, could you explain that in a simpler way? It's totally okay to ask. Next, they might give you a prescription. The symbol for prescription is a capital R with a line through the leg, which stands for RX.
Right, the RX. This is a note the doctor writes that allows you to get medicine from a pharmacy. Decoding the instructions on the medicine bottle is so important. Let's talk about frequency.
Yes, the instructions might say, take this twice a day, or for something more specific, take 1 pill every 8 hours. You might also see the dosage, like 500 mg. The mg stands for milligrams.
And there are often instructions on how to take it. The label might say, take with food, which means you should eat something before or with your pill. The opposite is take on an empty stomach, meaning you should wait a while after eating.
That's a very important distinction. Not all medicine is a pill, of course. For a skin issue, the instruction might be to apply the cream to the affected area.
That's right. So now you have your diagnosis and your prescription. The last piece of the puzzle is the follow-up plan. What happens next?
The doctor might need more information. They could say, you need to get some tests done. Common examples are blood work, where they take a small sample of your blood, or an X-ray, which is an image of your bones.
Yep. And after the tests, or just to check on your progress, the doctor will often say, make a follow-up appointment in 2 weeks. This is just another appointment to see how you are doing.
Sometimes the follow-up isn't with the same doctor. They might give you a referral. This is when your doctor sends you to see a specialist.
That's a great point. A specialist is a doctor who has advanced training in a specific area of medicine. For example, if you have a skin problem, you might see a dermatologist. For heart issues, you'd be referred to a cardiologist.
Sometimes the follow-up isn't with the same doctor. They might give you a referral. This is when your doctor sends you to see a specialist. And one of the most important instructions they give is what to do if things don't get better. They'll say, call us if your symptoms don't improve, or call if you feel worse.
That is a critical instruction. It's your safety net. Don't ever hesitate to call if you're not getting better.
Wow, that was a lot of information, but hopefully it makes the whole process feel less mysterious and more manageable.
I think so. The key takeaway is to be prepared and to not be afraid to speak up and ask questions. It's your health, and doctors want to help you. Using clear, specific language makes it easier for everyone.
Well said, Luke. That's all the time we have for today on English Every Day. We hope this episode helps you navigate your next doctor's visit with confidence.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Join us next time for more tips on using English in your daily life. Bye for now.